What's up, guys? Just thought I'd do a really quick vid on something I get asked quite often, and that is, how does this compare to the 1290 Super Duke? Difference in my opinion. The MT-10 is, in my opinion, far more rowdy. The two 1290 Super Dukes that I had, I think one was a 15, one was a 16. There was just something about the throttle. I don't know, the throttle, the bike, everything. It was way too tame. It would wheelie like that, but it just took a lot of effort, it felt like. I haven't ridden this bike in a month, so I'm a little rusty anyways, but the problem is there is no exhilaration to that bike. There was no rush of adrenaline like you get with this or you get with the R1. I never felt like that. I always used to joke about having, you know, because I had I've had 4 MT-09s now, but I had the MT-09 and the 1290 Super Duke at the same time. It had Austin Racing exhaust. It had the fuel dongles and whatever the hell else you do to it to basically kind of get a tune out of it. And I don't know, I was never that impressed with that bike at all, as far as acceleration. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it was fast, but my point is, when I had the MT-09, I would just tell people, look, if you were a brand new rider and asked me to ride one of my bikes, I would literally let you, well, I would never let anybody ride my bikes anyways, but just for example, I would let somebody ride the Super Duke, the 1290 Super Duke, over the MT-09, which I know that sounds insane, but I'm telling you, that bike was, you know, they always called it the beast. It just never felt that way to me. I always felt like I had to wring its neck. The MT-09 felt like more of a beast to me. It was scarier to ride than the Super Duke. And you know, when you have one of those bikes and, you know, the 1290, and you think it's going to be so impressive, I was just disappointed. That was just, listen, I love KTM. I've had 2 1290 Super Dukes. I've had the KTM 500 to date, my most favorite dirt bike I've ever owned. So I'm not against KTM by any means. I just was never that impressed with it. You know, again, was it fast? Yeah, it was fast. But for the money, I mean, and it was a beautiful bike too, don't get me wrong. And I say this, and I tell you the years that I had 15 and 16 because I had a black one and an orange one. Because, you know, maybe it's different now in 2020. You know, maybe they've done something different, and it's almost like when you hit the throttle, like the throttle bodies only open up 75%. That's the best way I can explain it. I feel like when I hit the throttle of this bike, you know, I just feel like it just goes up. It just goes up when I hit it. There's no hesitation, there's no delay, there's no nothing. It just goes up in the air. The Super Duke just never did that for me. Great looking bike. The trellis frame, I actually like the old style a little bit better. The trellis frame looked amazing. I don't like the new ones as much. The front end looks good, but the trellis frame looked so good. Oh, this thing just pulls so effing hard, it's crazy. this is a beast compared to that 1290. Again, maybe the 2020s or the newer versions were better than my 15 and 16, but just didn't do anything for me. Great looking bikes. They're really expensive bikes. So I technically never had any problems. My second one, my black one, had a leaky rear shock that eventually just went away, I guess. I ended up selling it after about 1,000 miles. I just never got that excitement out of it. I never did. Again, a great looking bike. I love KTM. I'm not picking on it. I don't want all these KTM guys all butthurt and all mad at me because you got a KTM, but that's just my opinion, my experience, man. I had 2 of them. I think I put a couple thousand miles on the first one. That was the, I just remember thinking to myself, gosh, this is, I mean, I've had 2 MT-09s by that point, and I was just thinking to myself, man, this thing is just, it was exciting because it was, the Super Duke, it was this beast, blah, 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 but the more I rode it, I was like, what is going on with this thing? And I would tell, motorcycle guys, and they're like, oh, something's wrong with your KTM. There's got to be something wrong with it. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not the beast everybody makes it out to be. Maybe it is now. It was not then. It was definitely not back then. So, great bike, great looking bike, nothing wrong with it. It just never gave me that rush like this one. I would pick this one 10 times and over. I mean, this thing is just lifted in the air. I mean, it's insane. I also, again, just my opinion, I feel like this bike sounds better too. That's a true V-twin, or it's a twin, but it doesn't have that. This sounds like a V8 muscle car to me. So I would, you guys that keep asking me, I'm in between the MT-10 and the Superduke. Save yourself the money. You're going to get the reliability. It's a super reliable bike. This platform's been out forever. Save yourself the few grand more. It depends. I mean, I think I got a pretty good deal on this brand new one, which I paid far less from this, like $3,000 to $4,000 less than I did the KTM. So I would buy this. I can't keep my wheelies up today. My throttle control is like off or something. But it's been raining for a month straight, so this is the first clear, non-rainy day we've had in a month, basically. I'm in Southwest Florida, and I've lived here my whole life, so it's just this time of year where it just rains every day. It sucks. Bugs. Oh, you gotta admit, that thing looks so sexy. So I know the Super Duke looks good, and it does, but come on, man. That Yamaha looks good. The face for some people is still questionable. It was for me for a long time, but it's totally grown on me. Let's see if I can make this turn without falling down. Yeah, I love this bike. I love the sound that comes out of it, and I think it sounds better than the KTM. Sorry, that's just the way I feel. I mean, I know some guys are just diehards for that Super Duke. I get it. It's a great bike. But this sounds better. Unless something's changed in the 2020, this is faster, unless again something's changed. I don't know. I don't plan to be finding out anytime soon, at least. So again, my vote, MT-10. Save some money, have that reliability, get that rush. Woo! Get that rush, man. Thing is badass. Love it. Alright guys, I'm for real out this time. I need to just cruise now before I do something super stupid.